Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to start building this Tamiya TRF104 Formula 1 chassis kit. We're going to be working on steps 1 through 5. Step 1 is to charge the battery, so we'll skip that. Step 2 is to attach the front and center bulkheads to the chassis. But before we can do that, we have to prep the carbon fiber lower deck so that it doesn't delaminate. And there's 2 steps to this. One is to file and smooth off the edges. And then second step would be to apply CA glue to seal it up. So the first part, to smoothen the sides, you can use a file or fine grit sandpaper. I'm going to use sandpaper. I think it's a little bit easier for me. Make sure when you're doing this, you're going to wear eye protection and also a respirator. Carbon fiber dust is not body friendly. Right, for this part, I'm going to use my vise here to hold it once I have the CA glue onto the body. So I'm going to be using this TLR tire glue. You can use any thin or medium CA glue. CA glue is basically crazy glue, super glue. Thin will dry a little bit faster, but medium will be a little bit easier to work with. And this is going to be a medium CA glue. And all we're going to do is to drop a bead onto the edge. You can drop a big bead and let it drip down, or you can kind of just apply it yourself. I'm going to go ahead and apply it myself. I'm going to leave this for about an hour, just so it has enough time to completely dry before I work on the other side and the edges. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, it's been a couple hours and the glue is dry. And I did kind of smooth that out a little bit with some sandpaper. Okay, so I think we're ready to use. So the side with the countersunk holes is the bottom, and we're going to be putting everything on top here. So we're going to need the A parts bag. So we're going to need 2 different size screws. MA4, we need one of those, and that's going to go on the front here. The front bulkhead. And then 5 MA5 is going to be for the rest of the pieces. Alright, so let's start at the bulkhead. MA4 is going to be the larger countersunk screw. It's not there. Probably going to be in here, if I had to guess. Alright, let's see. Okay, I see one countersunk screw. This is going to be MA5. So this is that right there. And that looks like it's going to be 2.5. Yep. Okay. So let's put that back there. And start here. We're going to let's see, it's going to be third and fourth hole. These two studs are going to go here and here. Okay, and then the big screw that we just picked out is going to go here in this hole. Okay, and then the regular size. This is going to be just 2 millimeter. And then I'm going to need this one, which is the steering post. Let's see what that looks like. I think it's going to be this right here. Another one of these small countersunk screws. It should be this hole right here. Okay. All right, next is this servo mount. And I believe these two sides are the same, but let's see, note direction. I don't know what they're talking about here. These two sides are the same, so... Okay, so there's no hole here. I mean, there's a hole here and there's no hole here. So I don't know why that is, but I do know the screw hole for the servo is on top, so I think this is going to be going into this hole right here. Okay, and then this last piece is going to go into these two holes right there. Now, I think we're done with step 2 here for the front bulkhead. We have this piece, steering post, we have the servo mount, and we also have this, the center bulkhead. Alright, let's move on to step 3. And step 3, we're going to be mounting the servo, and we're going to need the servo saver as well. I saved the other R12S just for this car. So let's crack this open. R12S from Power HD. I like this servo. It's a good value, good performance. You're getting a lot for your money. I think this one is $50 right now, and it's quite fast. There are the speed and the torque. I don't know if it'll focus, but there you go. So we're going to mount it like this, and it does say that as shown, if fit is tight, use the washer. I'm going to use the washer anyway because I think it's the correct thing to do. However, if you're going to use the regular screw MA2 instead of the MA7, it's going to be a regular screw. Otherwise, the MA7 is this one right here that has a little bit of a collar. Oh, actually, I like this. I am going to use this because it's blue. Okay. Forget about the washer. I like this because it's blue. Looks real nice. Okay, now we're going to find the servo saver, which is going to be this tree by itself. And I believe it's going to be this one, Q5. Yeah, it's this one right here. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be the Futaba one. I'm like 90% sure. Let me just cut this out to make sure. Yeah, okay. Let's put that aside. Right now we're going to put a screw here and then a ball stud. It's probably here. There we go. there's some really fine thin wire rings here. I'm going to try to keep it in the bag. So we have this, and then we need an MA3, which is just a regular button head screw. So it's going to be this right here. Okay, so center hole, and we're going to twist this on. So now we're done with step 3. We're going to move on to step 4, which is to put together the servo saver as well as put it onto the servo, and then we can move on to step 5. But we got to make sure the servo is centered. Alright, and to do that I'm going to use this little servo tester. Alright, let's put the servo saver together. Make sure you don't put the springs onto the wrong one, otherwise you have to do it all over. Just like I just did. The first ring is really easy. You can just spread that open. Second ring is the hardest of the 3. Alright, push that down like that. Now this one is the easiest. Well, not the easiest. This one is not that difficult. Okay, so we got all 3 in there, and we're going to leave it at a 10-degree angle, with this being the top. There we go. I think that's probably as good as I can do it right now, so I'm just going to leave this, and I will adjust the trim when we get the radio connected. I think we're done here. And for this video, the last step is going to be step 5. We're going to put this on, and we're going to need this piece right here. And if I remember correctly, the screw that will fit here is going to be just one of these regular ones. Let me just make sure this is one of the options and not a screw that is needed elsewhere. Yeah, so this would be for the servo. And alright, so there you go. Now let's work on these 4 standoffs right here. And it's just going to be the same MA5 screw. It's going to be this right here. So I think these are the same on both sides. And it should be just this 1, 2, 3, 4, those 4 holes. If you want to use some Loctite, because we're putting 2 metal pieces together, if you want to use some Loctite, by all means, I would use blue Loctite. I personally have not had a screw back out from a RC car like this. So just to make the video go faster, I'm going to skip that step. And I don't think I will need it. But by all means, use some blue Loctite if you feel the need. Okay, and I think that's it. We have the servo mounted. We put these standoffs on. We have the front bulkhead and the center bulkhead. We put on the servo saver, and we're ready to go. So this video we did steps from 1 to 5, and I'm going to leave it there. In the next video, we're going to be working on the front lower arms. If you're watching this as early access as a member. I want to thank you for becoming a member and supporting my channel. If you're watching this after the general release, I want to thank you for watching as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.